The F-22 Raptor, the F-35 Lightning, they are the ghosts of the modern battlefield, invisible, lethal, unstoppable. But they share one fatal, terrifying flaw, a flaw in a modern, near-peer war against a swarm of enemy fighters will get them killed. They simply run out of bullets. Enter the arsenal ship, the F-15EX Eagle II. It doesn't care about stealth. It doesn't care about hiding, because when you can carry 22 advanced air-to-air missiles into combat, you don't need to hide. You just need to pull the trigger. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the absolute brute force of the Boeing F-15EX. We're going to uncover why the United States Air Force is spending billions on a heavily upgraded airframe from the 1970s, how this terrifying missile truck completely solves the stealth fighter's biggest weakness, and why, if you are an enemy pilot staring at an EX on your radar, you are already dead. To understand the sheer lethality of the EX, we first have to talk about a concept the military calls magazine depth. In the era of fifth-generation fighters, stealth is king. To remain invisible to enemy radar, jets like the F-35 must carry all of their weapons inside internal bays. If they strap weapons to their wings, they ruin their stealth profile. They become a massive blip on enemy screens. Because of this, an F-35 flying a stealth mission can typically only carry 4 to 6 air-to-air missiles. In a minor skirmish, that's enough, but what happens in a full-scale Pacific theater war? What happens when a flight of 4 F-35s encounters a massive swarm of 20, 30, or 40 enemy drones and advanced fighters? They fire their stealthy payloads, shoot down a handful of targets, and then they are empty. They are defenseless ghosts. They have to run. This magazine depth crisis kept Pentagon strategists awake at night. The solution wasn't to build another expensive low-capacity stealth jet. The solution was brute force. The solution was a bomb truck. The F-15EX is the ultimate manifestation of physical lethality. Let's look at the numbers because they are staggering. Thanks to the new Advanced Missile and Bomb Ejection Routing System, known as Amber Racks, this monster can carry a mind-bending 22 air-to-air missiles. Imagine staring down the barrel of a jet loaded with a mixture of AIM-120D AMRAAMs for beyond visual range kills and AIM-9X Sidewinders for close-in dogfighting. No other fighter on the planet boasts this kind of dedicated air-to-air payload. It is a flying porcupine of death. If an enemy formation approaches, a single F-15EX can unleash a wall of lead and explosive fragmentation that no swarm can evade. But it's not just about the number of missiles, it's about the sheer power of the delivery system. The EX is equipped with 2 massive F-110GE-129 engines, producing nearly 60,000 pounds of thrust. This jet can reach Mach 2.5. It can push straight up into the stratosphere and launch its weapons at supersonic speeds. When an AMRAAM is fired from a jet already traveling at Mach 1.5, the missile inherits that kinetic energy. It flies further. It strikes faster. The no-escape zone for the enemy becomes catastrophically large.
But wait, if the F-15EX isn't stealthy, won't it just be shot down immediately by modern surface-to-air missiles? This is where the true genius of the Eagle II reveals itself. It doesn't rely on being invisible. It relies on being blinding. Beneath its aluminum skin, the EX houses the EPAWSS, the Eagle Passive Active Warning Survivability System. This is arguably the most advanced electronic warfare suite ever bolted onto a fighter aircraft. EPAWSS doesn't just detect enemy radar, it aggressively attacks it. It floods enemy screens with ghost targets, jams their targeting frequencies, and creates a digital force field around the aircraft. The enemy knows something is out there, but their missiles can't lock on. The radar simply goes blind. Now let's look at the master plan, the ultimate high-stakes combat scenario. How does the military actually intend to use this beast? They aren't going to send it alone. They are going to pair it with the F-35 to create an unstoppable hunter-killer web. Picture this. An F-35 glides deep behind enemy lines completely undetected. It uses its incredibly advanced sensors to paint multiple enemy targets. But the F-35 doesn't fire its own weapons. It stays quiet. It stays hidden. Instead, it uses a secure data link to instantly pass those target coordinates back to the F-15EX, loitering 100 miles away. The EX receives the data. The pilot never even sees the enemy on his own radar. He just presses the button. The F-15EX unleashes a volley of 10 AMRAAMs. The missiles streak across the sky, taking their mid-course guidance updates from the F-35. The enemy never sees the F-15. They never see the F-35. All they see is a sudden, inescapable wall of missiles dropping out of the stratosphere. It is an execution. And the nightmare for the enemy doesn't end with air-to-air combat, because the F-15EX doesn't have internal weapons bays. It has no size constraints on what it can carry. The Air Force is currently developing massive telephone pole-sized hypersonic missiles. These weapons fly at Mach 5 or faster, designed to obliterate aircraft carriers and heavily fortified bunkers. An F-35 cannot fit a 22-foot hypersonic missile inside its belly. It's physically impossible. But the F-15EX, it can strap a 7,000-pound hypersonic weapon right to its centerline, carry it to the edge of the combat zone, and launch it. It is the only tactical fighter in the U.S. inventory capable of hauling these next-generation doomsday weapons. This jet represents a terrifying shift in modern warfare. We spent decades obsessed with hiding, obsessed with stealth, but the EX is a reminder that sometimes the best strategy isn't to hide. Sometimes the best strategy is to show up with the biggest guns, the deepest magazines, and absolute overwhelming firepower. The 22-missile monster isn't just an upgrade, it is an entirely new philosophy of war. It is the ultimate insurance policy against the swarm, and for anyone unlucky enough to be caught in its crosshairs, there's simply nowhere left to run. If you want to see exactly how the F-35 gathers that stealth data to feed this monster, you need to watch our deep dive on the F-35's sensor fusion right here. Click the video on your screen, and I'll see you there.